Wait, first
Okay.
things first, don't buy this.
Okay. All right.
It's trash.
Um, so welcome to the 18th episode of the Boomers podcast, guys. Um, today I'm joined here. Oh, my name is Amar Gohar, and today I'm joined here by a very big supporter of the podcast since the very beginning. And I'll let the man introduce himself
Uh, my
here.
name's Ilyas. I went to school with Amr for I don't know, long time. Don't worry about it. Not important. But yeah,
Yeah.
I kept bugging him to be on the podcast. So now I'm here.
Yeah, dude, I don't even like whenever I start one of these podcasts, the first thing that I talk about with the person is how we met. And how did we meet?
Okay, well we can go the boring story, right? And be
What is it?
like, we met like through TLC when the first TLC program is. We probably met during a soccer game. Blah blah blah. Who cares? It doesn't matter. That's not the juicy parts. The juicy parts. We go.
What?
I feel like you know what I'm gonna say, right?
Okay, don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay. Never
I'll
mind.
I'll I'll say what I think. I'll say the way I
Okay, say
I
what you
think we
think.
met.
Say what you
But
think
yeah,
first.
the way you said don't say that. Okay. The way we met that I remember is um grade 7 foods class. It was in the
Uh,
second
uh
semester. Yeah,
yes,
we got put in the same group.
because we're brown. They can't put us anywhere else. They got to make a
Yeah,
bake. We had to make bacon one time.
bro.
Fire.
Oh yeah, yeah, bro. They put all the brown dudes in that class in the same group. So I guess it was just us, me, you, and the two other dudes who I'm not gonna name. But
I remember.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I remember that. And then the thing was, I think that either it was two other dudes or one other dude. I think it was Dan. No, I don't remember.
yeah,
Okay.
it was. It
Yeah.
was two other guys. He was one of them.
Okay. But then it was like there's more for us always. I don't know. I feel like the other groups had more people for some reason. From what I remember, but I don't remember.
No, I think it was, or maybe yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I think they had five. Yeah, we had four. Might have been 5 and 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Whatever.
uh, Colonel Irvin, the junior high in Calgary. That's where we met. And
Mhm.
I don't remember like our first conversation or anything like that. And
Well,
don't mention the thing you were gonna mention, but
okay.
but yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you know what I always wanted to talk to you about?
What?
Like you being so basically for people who don't know, at this school, there's something called the TLC program, which is like the dudes who wear the uniforms. Then there's like the regular program, which is like people who just don't wear uniforms and they have a slower curriculum, I guess. I don't know. And then there's the Mandarin program. So Ilyas, a brown guy, is in the Mandarin program. So explain that. Oh, there's your cat, bro. That's sick.
Really harassing me. Mandarin program happened because my mom wanted me to learn like a different language from like when I was little. And I knew
Yeah.
Turkish, but she thought like a third language like Chinese or Spanish, because Spanish she thought would be good for oil, especially here living in Alberta, or China because like she knew that they're going to be big when I was really young. And
Oh yeah.
there's this book, I think it's like something Notre Dame or something, where it says that China and Russia are supposed to we're supposed to team up and become like a big superpower together. And she always thought that it would be a good idea for me to learn Chinese because she said if thing goes bad, China takes over, I at least know Chinese, Bye.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it went by. And then it's such a weird, honestly, it was so weird living in that kind of like environment my entire life, because just being little, like growing up with people that don't really look like you. They'll say like a black kid will be in a class and they'll go like someone black will be on the screen. They're like, oh my God, it's
Yeah.
that guy. They did that to me all the time. Anytime there's like someone darker on like anything we're watching, they'd always be like, oh my
They point
God,
to you.
it's Ilyas. Everybody start laughing and dying. You live to learn
Yeah.
roll with the punches. And like I honestly like I feel like when I first got into there, I felt so alienated from everybody else because I didn't know how I didn't like really think the same things they did. I didn't pray. I prayed different things. Like it was just like a disconnect. So I felt like I was a lot in my life at school. I didn't like going to school and I was always kind of distant from everybody. So I never really
Really?
found school like super entertaining. And I always loved being by myself. So I was like, whatever. Like these kids, I like go from group to group to group, let's talking to random people, certain people, and then cut. And I didn't really care about school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as I got through the years and I grew up with all these kids, it's like, especially when I even like going into Colonel Irvin, like I had such a tight bond with everybody. Like honestly, all those people feel like my family. Like we don't talk, but if I saw them on the street, I bet it feels like that for TLC too. Like the people you just grow up with is like they're literally your family. Like doesn't
Yeah,
matter
yeah,
what.
yeah. Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
feel like I've adopted a lot of like the way they think and like just in certain stuff and the way they act
Hmm.
too. Because I feel like if I grew up around more Arabs, I'd be a little bit more aggressive. I used to be like really aggressive as a young, like younger as a child, but for some like a lot of Asian kids are very like they're funny and they like to joke around, but they don't like they're not super physical.
Physical
So
with it,
I
yeah.
never really got into physical altercations with anybody. It was a lot of like using your wits to joke around with a lot more people. So I feel like I have that kind of difference because I didn't grow up in those like like a mainly Arab or brown area kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's I never knew that. That's super interesting. Dude,
And
was
then
it
going into
go
actually
ahead.
that's what I wanted to say too is like going into um junior high I didn't really hang out with that many like people who were not like brown like me because even Turkish people they're not that brown. I'm dark like considering like they used to call me darky every time I went to Turkey. My grandma would be like, you're my dark son.
Oh,
Everybody would
what
say
the
I'm
heck?
dark. But then I go and meet other brown people, and it's like, like I feel this relation to a lot of you, and that's why I have respect for you, Murad, whatever, because like you guys still grew up in the same kind of area I did. And I just
Yeah.
like, cool meeting you guys when I first got in that kind of area, just because yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah, bro. You're just taking me back to like those days. I'm trying to think of how we met and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, dude, was it cool being in like all your Mandarin classes and then coming to foods class and being with a bunch of brown kids?
honestly, yeah. Honestly, it's a different change of pace. It's like I feel like with my like especially as it went on in junior high, I really like everybody was kind of clicked up and everybody started
Yeah.
finding their own little friend groups. And I had Ryan and Jay and JJ, and we're always like that tight knit group.
Hmm.
But then I think going to foods class or a class where I didn't have them and like talking to people like I didn't usually talk with was like super like taking me out of my comfort zone first. And then second, knowing like talking with these brown kids and they'll be like, oh, like they eat the same way I do. Oh, they do this, like they can't eat this certain thing. It was like, oh, like I felt that kind of like bond between there. Like Danny could probably eat whatever, but like no, he's brown. He's um
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey. Oh my god, yeah. One second.
Yo, is your cat a he or a she?
He
Okay. I just need to
he
know the
just took a piss
pronoun.
on my clothes. Yeah, this guy's literally man. I'm literally
Dude.
watching him take a piss in front of me. He saw me do it. Like he saw me, he's looking me dead in the eyes.
You
Okay,
haven't trained
I'll
him?
deal with that later. Huh?
You haven't trained him?
He's trained. I don't even know what he's doing.
Then why is he pissing on your clothes?
I literally don't know. I don't know. Literally pisses in the litter box all the time. I literally just cleaned his litter box, and now he's trying to hide it. Okay, that's a different issue. I
All right.
I literally I just clean it later. I can't deal with it right now. Things I don't see him. Anyways, yeah, that's why I think it's different. It's a lot different. Just like being around different people and getting that kind of cultural shift because, like my uncle is Pakistani, but like he's not my like blood relative, right? Like my aunt married a Pakistani guy,
Oh
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
knew,
It's your aunt's husband. Okay.
yeah. So that's why I thought I was like, oh, like he's Pakistani, like that's so cool, right? And also another story I have to tell is
Yeah, go ahead.
Ridwana. What I think is grade six, probably grade six. We went to a camp. What camp was it? Camp Chief Hector.
Oh, yeah. What was it called? Eco school. Yeah, yeah.
Eco school.
Wait, you were
Yeah,
there?
man, I was there. We are all there. We all there. But like
Dude,
it
that's
was
sick. I never knew you were there.
yeah. I was fat, by the way. Grade
No, you
five, grade
weren't.
six, I was fat.
I don't remember that. Where's the yearbook? You have it?
No, I don't have a yearbook. I have a picture of myself of me being fat, man. Well, hold up. I was fat. I was obese. Okay, let me explain. I'm 5'5", 150. Okay. I'm fat I'm
Wait.
fat. I literally I was
What
fat.
the?
Okay, so during that time, grade five, I
Yeah.
found anime.
Oh
An
wow, that's
entire
early.
summer. Huh?
That's early, bro.
Yeah. And that's that every morning there's like one chick I used to go talk to. and she watched Fairy Tale, right? I'm not gonna tell her name. You know her. You know what I'm talking about. She watched Fairy Tale,
Oh
and I was
yeah.
like, oh, okay. Like we became friends in grade five. Bro, I'm really obese, fat, whatever. She was just like, this fucking kid's annoying shit. One time she snitched on me to the teacher, bro. Literally, and snitched on me, no hesitation, and I made a joke, and like I literally got a restraining order because I was an annoying fat kid. Listen, anyways, go on from there.
Okay.
Grade five, I'm fat. Grade six, I'm fat. People don't really know me. That summer of grade six, I lose a bunch of weight. Going to grade seven, I feel like so much more confident about myself. And I started that summer playing basketball. And honestly, like
Ooh,
for me,
yeah.
gaining that confidence through sports was like a big thing because in grade five, my grandfather passed away. And my mom and like he was super sick during in grade five, and my
Hmm.
mom and my grandma and everybody were looking after him. And I was just like chilling in my room, like hid from everybody. I literally didn't like I have a very low social energy. So like in public and with my friends, I'm very vocal, but as soon as I get home, I'm dead. Like I don't talk to anybody. I'm away in my room. No one will ever see me. I like come out of my room and they're like, "You've been here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been here." They're like, "You haven't come out for 18 hours." I'm like, "I don't like I just live here, bro. Don't worry about me."
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so I like during that time I'm super overweight, and then grade six I get on the basketball team. Just try out. My mom's like forced me to try out. I literally went there. They put me on basketball team. Like you can be good. Mr. Chang. Shout out to Mr. Chang. That's the reason I play basketball. I
yeah.
think
Oh,
basketball's still serious.
oh, really? Nice, dude.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he told me like you have to work a lot harder, but you could definitely have potential, and that really like drove me to like really want to play basketball.
Hmm.
That coming into that grade seven year, I was like super. I lost so much weight going into it because I started eating after that camp chief hector time. I saw Ridwana at the cafeteria, bro. I went the most roundabout way to explain the story. Wait, Ridwana, camp chief hector. We were at dining table. They had great food. Not gonna lie, that was really good
It
food.
was fire, bro. Yeah.
That was fire. But I look and then this little brown girl over there with the mustache is just eating by herself. Like, what's going on, bro? Okay, like I don't understand. Like why is she there by herself? Like, and why does she get her own meal? Like, what the hell? I keep looking at her. And I'm like, 2 days go by. Finally, ask her. I go, why are you eating this? Like, what's going on? She's like, bro, I have to eat halal. I'm Muslim. I was like,
This is a story.
what?
Okay, okay.
Like, what is that, man? My mom doesn't eat halal. My dad doesn't eat halal. It doesn't really matter to them. They grew up here. My mom grew up here. My dad's immigrant, but they don't really care in Turkey.
Yeah.
So it was never a big thing in my life, and I never understood what it meant. So wow, it pushed me. I was like, halal. I'm like, I'm Muslim. What the hell is halal? Like, what is it for hijabis? Like, I don't understand. Like, what's going on here? So then I go home and I'm like, Mom, like, what's halal? Like, I don't understand. And she goes, no, like you have like usually Muslims eat halal. And she gave me like this brief rundown. I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm like, no more. I like put my foot down. I would not eat any like non-halal meat.
Yeah.
Bro, my mom was pissed. She was pissed, but like because she's like, you don't pray 5 times a day, but you're gonna start eating halal, right? Like that's what she was like saying. Where
Yeah, yeah.
are you off of it? Like that you can do this. Finally, after like I was so stubborn. I literally wouldn't listen to anything she had said. And eventually, like now I just eat halal, right? Like I grew to like I that's why I first make food now. I cook for myself. I lost so much weight. I like I just because it was like I was looking after everything I was eating. And that summer I went to Turkey and I fasted the entire summer. And I was playing soccer and I was swimming and I lost so much weight and I
Bro,
grew.
you were that young fasting? Holy crap.
Yeah. And it was my family hated it. The Turkish family, they don't fast. They barely fast. Like they say like the weather's hot. It was like 30, like 5 degrees in the summer. People are like, I'm not gonna fast. That's tough. Okay.
Damn.
In Turkey, it's not in, especially where I'm from, where my dad's from. I'm not from there, but where my dad's from, it's
Yeah.
like very European, European. Lots of like people come over. It's so like you honestly some and during the summer there might be more Ukrainians and Russians than there are Turkish people, just because there's so many people that come there. So it's like full of Europeans and stuff that come over, and Swiss people come over a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like they're very like they don't like most of the girls not hijabis. Like it's so different out there. It's way different than Istanbul, which all the Arabs go to. All the Arabs love Istanbul because then it is a little bit more like everybody's kind of closed up a little bit more, and Ankara, so everybody's a little
Yeah.
bit more like that, kind of like that. But out there, it's straight European. It's like an hour away from Kos, Greece, which is like Greece, and you can see the area. You can see the people walking in Greece.
Oh,
Okay,
what the heck? Is that close?
yeah, literally, it's so close. It's like it's a 1 hour boat ride. It's 40 minutes by plane.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's why it's like for me, it's like fasting and doing all that stuff. Like I was pushing out my comfort zone because I don't really see many people do this in my like normal day to day. And
Yeah.
honestly, me doing that, and honestly, I owe a lot to Ravana in that situation because yeah, if I never saw her or never understood that, I wouldn't be like how I am today. And I honestly, and me being more Muslim pushes my parents to be more Muslim too. So she gets double benefit from that,
That's
right?
sick,
I hope
bro.
she
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I explained
No,
it to her, but
yeah, yeah. I remember you commented that on the guest video with her. Dude, I did not know it was that deep. Dude,
uh,
shout out to Redwana, bro. She
yeah,
had
she like
the
honestly, it's a lot different because of her too. Like I remember like I had so much more respect for her too after that too, like coming
Mhm.
into it. You know, I don't know. I didn't really like, I didn't know who she was, right? Like we weren't really close friends during that time or whatever. But just even
Yeah.
like from afar, I was like, I respect this. I respect her so much.
That's so sick, bro.
So nosy. Anyways,
Bro,
yeah.
all black is dope too. All black cat. I barely see. I hate people hate getting black cats. What's
My
up with that?
grandma hates him, but his undercoat is all white, but he's
Oh,
black
really?
on the outside. Yeah, he's all black on the outside. You pull back his fur and it's all white.
Wait,
It's crazy.
what like what is it
Breed,
called? Yeah, what
rag,
breed?
ragdoll, and like some like I don't know mixed breed. I don't know.
Oh,
His mom's a
yeah,
whore. His dad's purebred. Doesn't matter.
yeah. Dude,
For cheap,
I
200 bucks.
I've had a ragdoll too. 200?
Yeah,
That's sick. Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah, it's cheaper than a dog. And dogs are haram anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
I'll get a dog.
Haram halal.
I'll get a dog but it's gonna be like a big dog. It's gonna be a Kangal. It's like this Turkish dog. It's a big dog because you can have hunting dogs, but you
Let me see
cannot
what that
have
looks like. How do you spell it?
Kangal.
Oh,
So
Congo
K A
Shepherd duck.
N G A.
Okay, yeah, I found it. Damn, dude, this thing has like a huge, what is it called? Like the mouth thing?
Jaw,
I don't
teeth,
know. But
mouth thing.
I don't know. Like like the
Mouth.
beak or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I understand. I understand. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's just
yeah.
called their mouth. I don't know what it's called though.
Yeah,
But I know
yeah.
you're saying
Snout.
big
Snout.
snout.
That's the
Snout.
word. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. You're a smart
Freaking
one.
snout is huge. That's dope. Dude, big dogs are nice, yeah. But I'm more of a cat person in
I
general.
like cats. They have so much more personality. But this guy's literally a menace. He's actually a menace.
Wait, you saying cats have more personality?
Yeah, way more personality.
Are you
Because
serious?
they okay, so like dogs, they'll love you wherever. You give them a treat, they'll come, they'll bark. They're like, whoa, what? Like, dogs, you can't get that much variation in dogs. Bro, my cat comes on top of me in the middle of the night, meows in my face. If I try to pet him, he puts his hand on my hand and just like pushes it down. He's just like, no, don't touch me. And then he
What
just
the
walks
hell?
away. He
Bro
literally
is human.
He literally is a human. I don't understand. He literally opens. He knows how to open my door. He literally opens my door and goes
From
gets
the
food.
handle when it's closed?
Yeah, I don't understand. I haven't
Stop.
figured out
You're
how he keeps
lying.
getting it. Bro. I caught him. He's on the top of my dresser. It's impossible. I
What
can't
the
even show
heck?
you. Like, my dresser's like so high. He just on top of it. This guy's literally demon. I don't. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
Black
cats.
cats are actually jinn. I don't. You actually know this. Right? Like, I
Oh
don't.
my god.
I kind of messed up. That's why my grandma's so scared. My grandma won't even look at him, bro. Like he'll come out. She starts yelling, "Get him out! Get him out!"
Oh,
He's actually scared of my grandma too.
wait, your grandma lives with you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
All
and she
right.
won't look at
She won't look at him, bro. He walks out. She starts going crazy, and then he actually listens to her. She'll be like, "No, go inside your room," and then he and sprint inside his room and stuff.
what the
He
hell?
literally just knocks us off.
Yo, chill out.
It's okay.
Oh my god. Okay, back to the podcast here. Um, okay. I know you I know you talked about how you talked about the with Islam, you weren't that informed about like our religion and stuff, right? But like you're biracial, you're Turkish and something else, which
Yeah.
whatever is complicated, right? Okay.
You're
So
just asking that, right?
yeah, what,
Um,
how has that
oh,
like affected you, like being biracial?
very biracial. So biracial. In Turkey, I'm not Turkish. In Canada, I'm not Canadian. Wherever my mom's from, my mom's from. I'll actually explain that part right now. So my
All right.
mom is Somali. Okay, so they're Shia, and they've always been persecuted. They came all the way from Iran. They were in Iran. My great grandfather was like in Iran. Then they went
Yeah.
to India, and then they got kicked out of India for being Muslim. So then they went to East Africa, and then the black people kicked them out of East Africa for being brown because they said that. So we had a bunch of like farms, lands, and we were very rich in Africa because when we came there, like we came with nothing, and my great grandfather was like in Madagascar,
Oh
and
wow, what the heck?
yeah, and my grandma's side was in Tanzania, and they speak Farsi, and they speak no, what do they speak? What's it called? I don't know, African language. Don't worry about it. Then
Okay.
they grew up there. Like my great grandma and everything grew up in Africa and had 18 kids and whatever, and
Mhm.
like what like, at the age of like 15, but but they lived their life there, right? And they had a bunch of like big farmlands and were very rich and doing very well for themselves after escaping like India.
Yeah.
And right when things were going well, they followed the same thing as apartheid as South Africa, and they start kicking out all the brown people. So I have a bunch of family in the UK and Australia, and some in Australia, some in Texas, and then some all over Canada. And they kicked out
Damn.
a bunch of us, killed one of the youngest brothers, one of my grandfather's youngest brothers. Well, there's 18 of them, whatever. There's enough of them, too many of them, anyways. Um, but yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like,
god.
then you get to the point where it's like, my grandma, like, oh, she low key, she's a little bit racist. Where it's like, I understand why she's racist. She's like, black people did kick her out of Africa. Like, she's like,
Bro.
they're so angry about that. My family's so angry about that. My older family is pretty angry about that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was a big issue because we lost. I think we lost not just like uncle, but like not just a what grunkle, grandfather's uncle, whatever. You know, just not just
Yeah, yeah,
uncle, but
yeah.
we lost a couple of family members when they were escaping. But but then they came here and they're doing good for themselves now, and they figured it out. They came during my grandpa worked on like the Canadian Railroad and all that.
Oh,
So they've
really?
been
What the heck?
quite a while, right? So
Wait, so your
it's
parents, sorry, which so your mom was born here.
mom was born here, but
That's
my
sick.
aunties and stuff were born in Tanzania. Yeah,
Damn. Okay, so you're like a second generation Canadian,
yeah,
not
yeah,
first.
kind of.
That's
Second,
so dope.
I'm a second and a first because my dad's an immigrant.
Oh, you're
Well,
one half, one and a half. Yeah. Okay. Dude,
yeah.
I never knew that. Damn.
Mhm. And then what
That's so
also I
cool.
want to say is like, the Shia, and I see a lot of the values they hold and stuff that I can understand how through culture and of passing down religion, how Shia like ism forms between the cultures, because
Yeah.
a lot of people like when you read the Quran and you go down through the messages, it's like it's very clear on what happens and how you like how you should pray and what you should do. But when people don't have access to that information and you kind of follow culturally, like there's a lot of like when I go to I've been to a couple times to where they pray like, as she is like where she has pray,
Yeah.
and the way they pray is so similar, but then it has like different roots in like everywhere they've been. So everywhere they've been, they take some part of religion from that area. They sit crisscross and they sing prayers about Allah. But it's like they don't say the du'as. They say the du'as to start off. The main people will say the du'as, and it's like you understand how like twisted it almost became just going down. And it's like if it was someone was passing, it's like playing a game of telephone, and it comes down to this point.
Yeah.
And now in the age where you have so much information, I'm able to I'm able to actually pick which I was able to pick at a young age. My mom and my dad didn't force me. I was able to pick if I would be Sunni or Shia, and I chose to be Sunni. I feel like personally, I choose to be Sunni. I understand a lot of the Shia values, and they go. I'm gonna kill. Uh, I understand a lot of Shia values, and I
Yeah.
understand their sense of community. Their sense of community and helping each other is very big because they've ran away from a lot of people persecuting them, and they're very forward thinking. They always think of Sharia law, like that's their kind of mentality for why they change certain things.
Yeah.
Like they pray 3 times a day, don't pray 5 times a day. But then it's like now that you're in time where it should be accepted. I feel like a lot of I don't want to be controversial to all the Shias and everything, but I feel like it's a time where it's like good time to read the Quran because like how many Shias have actually read the Quran? How many times can you go in and say like I understand Prophet Ali was a not Prophet Muhammad's like Prophet Muhammad was such a big figure for us, but for them it's Ali, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And he's a big figure for us too, but we don't trace down the bloodline as much as they do because in my mind, Prophet Muhammad always said that he was our prophet, but he always said that he wasn't as important as a gift from Allah as the Quran was because the the Christians had their miracle, which was Jesus, and we still believe in Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Isa. But now our miracle has always been the Quran. It's always right. We read through it. We're supposed to know it like the back of our hand, right? And if you keep going down the cultural practices, it's like, okay, like at what point is this a fun meeting between friends? And what point is this prayer? Like when I go, like that's like my kind of thoughts. But
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
and I understand, and then I don't want them ever to be persecuted for their beliefs and everything, but there has to be a change in that kind of area too. But that's also my other point where I want to bring up is the difference between cultures between not just between like Shias and Sunnis, but between like Pakistanis and Arabs and Turks and like Moroccans and stuff like the northern Africans. Northern Africans are like crazy, bro. Like some of them practice black magic. Like I don't even like.
Yeah.
And as you go on and you look at like the state of the world it is today, and you'll see white people go. We see Ukraine right now, and they're white, blue-eyed, and they'll get their help they need, and people will send them every penny they can, and the only reason this is happening is because they need a war right now because the vaccine, like not the vaccine, COVID happened, economies are in very bad shape right now. Then you wonder why is Ukraine fighting against one of the world's superpowers that are on their border? Why would they want to get into that disagreement? People are like, but Russia took over Kiev, right? Russia,
Yeah.
you know how much money Ukraine owes Russia? They you know why there was no military action when Russia came to Kiev? They gave
What?
them
Why?
Kiev. Obviously, they gave them Kiev. And you see, like, you're like, why is there a war happening right now? Russia charges extra for gas and oil because oil consumption they've been making less oil. Okay, like actually have been making less oil, and that's why gas prices have been going up for a while.
Yeah. Producing
Now,
less. Yeah.
yeah, producing less oil, right, like they're not digging up as much oil. They're trying to slow it down so like the prices go up because people aren't consuming as much oil right now. And then when consumption went up, they still didn't make more oil because then they could charge more, and they're still charging more. And now it's skyrocketed, and who's benefiting? Russia's benefiting from it to an extent because they're keeping it from us and they're raising it all over. They have a big control on oil. And then you have America who's, hey, aren't they sending weapons? Don't they manufacture weapons? Isn't it crazy that now that Ukraine needs weapons from America, and that now we're sending over, and now Ukraine owes us something? So this will happen, and don't think that it's weird that the Ukraine's president doesn't doesn't like try to do this politically. Like, no, I'm going to NATO. That's what he said. I'm going to NATO. Russia can't stop us. And then Russia invaded. That doesn't make sense. It's because they need a war in the area. Russia's going to go in. They're going to put in their own leaders, right? There'll be a. I'm not saying this is the Ukrainian people are in it. You know, they're going to suffer because of all this. They're doing the
Yeah.
same thing they did to Iraq. They're going to do the same thing. They said they found weapons of mass destruction in Ukraine. That's what Russia
Oh
said.
no.
China.
WMDs.
They're going to go out the same playbook that America's going down. And I see it happening, and they're going to put in their own leaders. There's going to be civil wars. It's going to take a long time for Ukraine to recover after this. It's This war shouldn't take as long as it has been. People are like, Ukraine's doing so good, bro. If Russia wanted to, they can move in 24 hours, bro. It doesn't matter, but they're taking their time because they need this to drag out. Make some money for the economy, get some money flowing.
Yeah,
Come
war
on,
makes
man.
money for
Come
economies.
on, man.
Yeah. Bro, you know
That's
your stuff, man.
I know certain
I don't know
stuff.
any about this. Like I don't
It's
know
like,
much about this.
but I the reason I say that is what's happening in Ukraine is happening all over the Middle East, and it's going to keep
Yeah.
happening in the Middle East. And the thing that is like, if one day America got up and bombed Turkey, people would just be like, "Oh, it's Turkey. Like they're a terrible place. Like they deserve it. Like what am I gonna do?" And then like the only way I ever see that not being an issue is if there's like the Middle East has more unison and more like there's a little bit more trade between us. They say they would open up the Muslim Brotherhood between Pakistan, Iran, and Turkey. But the thing is, that's why I want to bring up cultures, is there's so much difference between our cultures. We are all the same. We all, maybe 90% of the Middle East is Muslim. Probably there's a lot actually more Christians than people think. There's probably less than 90%.
Yeah, but majority is Muslim. Yeah, you're right.
It's
Fast.
Muslim majority. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But even then, Turkish people are not like Arabs. I hate Arab food. It looks like our food. It looks like Turkish food. I'm like, oh, I get so excited. I'm like, oh my god, baklava. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so
Yeah.
excited. And I eat it, and it just tastes like rose water, and I just want to like whip it out the door and like throw it on the ground and stomp on it. Like I hate these people. And they make dolma and or I don't know what they call it. Dolma. I don't know. It's Greeks say they make the same thing, and everybody's copying each other in that all area and whatever. But there's a difference culturally, food wise, and they go, why aren't people like, yeah, of course we're gonna help Ukraine. Why don't other Middle East countries help like Palestine and stuff? Another Middle East country moves in there. First, it depends on what kind of Middle East country. Are they olive oil Arab, or are they petrol Arab? Okay, like it depends on that too, because the petrol Arabs are all run by America. It doesn't matter. They're just there for the money. They don't care about us. They don't care about them.
Yeah.
They're the people that should be doing the most, but they're the worst.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, terrible, terrible. They can say they're Muslim all they want. They don't know anything.
Oh
But
my god, bro. Pissing me off.
yeah, it pisses me off the most because they're just in the pockets of America. And the thing is, they have to be, because if they don't, any leader that's like, we won't associate ourselves with America. Yo, it's crazy. How did a leader die again? That's what we're gonna ask the next day. It's gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
And people will be like, like people will be like, there's no women's rights in the Middle East. There's no LGBTQ rights in the Middle East. Okay, and they're like, it's obviously because these people are Muslim. Muslims are terrible people, and that's where a lot of our stereotypes come from. But you know what allows that kind of mental like adjustment? We have the benefit of being in a society that's able to fight for our rights without like having to fight back against, where we're not ruled by kings. We're able to
Yeah.
be in a democracy. But the only reason there's so many kings in the Middle East is because Britain moved in and put their own kings in. So
Oh
then
yeah, they screwed everything up.
so it's like people. I told people like I'm gonna go to Pakistan. They're gonna be like, why are you into the desert? Pakistan is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, bro. Like you don't understand. But there's so much fighting and conflict in the area, and there's always going to be conflict in the area, because anytime there's peace or stability anywhere in the Middle East, let's not even say Pakistan, let's say like anywhere, it will always be interrupted. Yemen is right now in the middle of a proxy war, right? Like how would that ever stop? Like how could that ever stop when because people don't want it to stop. America doesn't want it to stop. America wants control in the region. So they put Israel there. You think they care? You think they care that much that people are dying? No, they like, do what you want. I need control in the area. And it's always going to be like that. Because anytime they let
Hate that.
Muslim people come back from that, it's not going to be pretty. It won't ever be pretty, because there's no way you can look at all this bloodshed that you've done to us, you've made us go through. You can never look at that and be like, no, we're okay now. We're okay now. We can, thank God, thank you for letting us go and not being our masters anymore. But I'm like, I keep thinking, I'm like, how would this ever change? How would this ever change without America being the ones to be like, we put our own people in, now there's no more wars and everything. And it has to be bigger countries in the area stepping up and start taking control of the region.
Saudi Arabia needs to do something, bro.
Saudi
They
Arabia
need
can
to do
never.
something good.
There's too much money
Because
in the line. They will never do anything.
that's
They
true.
can never do anything. They're the reason this ummah is a lot really messed up. And a lot of Middle East is messed up. And they're the reason that a lot of wars are being fought there. And people will go, Syria, these damn brown sand monkeys are all destroying the land out there. Like, what are we gonna do? Is kill them all. But you're like,
Oh my
is it
god.
crazy that they're shooting each other with American weapons? Like, I don't know, man. You have Americans
Yeah,
dying in the hands of
fair.
American weapons. So, you know. And then they'd be like, NATO's like, if Ukraine is like getting invaded, if they're part of NATO, we would have sent them all our weapons, blah blah blah. Turkey has been asking for weapons from France. And they will not send them weapons. Turkey is not able to buy weapons from France anymore. Turkey's pissed. You know where Turkey's buying weapons from? Russia.
Russia, yeah, yeah. Because Russia and Turkey are like they're
Very
like
close.
allied, right? Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is that you have to be careful. The thing is, I don't want to be on the wrong. Like people will be like, you know, China and Russia are bad. America is just as bad. But you're just in the middle of all this, and I'm like, I have no loyalty to any of these countries. Countries are just countries, ruled by whoever.
Not
I don't
even, not
care.
even Turkey.
Not even Turkey. I'm not. I'm like I'm Turkish, but like if I go there, they'll be like, you're not Turkish. Get back to Canada. Like like you're a traitor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even feel Canadian. I won't fight for Canada. I'll leave. Go swim. I'll go like live in the jungle. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Like I hear nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons? Like bro, I don't care. I literally, Winnipeg will be the first place to be hit if there's ever nuclear weapons.
How,
There's
what's the source?
there's a reason. It's like our national defense thing is in Winnipeg or something. I
Oh,
don't
what the
remember.
hell?
Yeah, it's like apparently it'd be aimed at Winnipeg first though, which is weird because our most densely populated area is probably like Toronto. Or
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
want to miss into the sea. They'd probably hit Winnipeg, like the radiation would kill
Well,
everyone.
at least that's not us, bro. That's like two provinces away. We're good.
We're good. We're on our way into none of it. Be safe.
Oh
Live with
my
it.
god, disgusting, bro.
Yeah, that's why I don't
But
know. I feel like that's why I bring up culture is that in that we are all so different because there's so much history in the Middle East. It's not like Canada and America and all these other kind and like these white people countries. It's like their history is very new. Like Europe, even then is like so much history. Canada and America, we have no history. We have like what 100th birthday was just a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
we have generations and generations of hate towards the different groups and different people. Like you killed my great 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 grandfather and
Word,
stuff.
word, word.
You guys make the same food as me, but it's worse. Pakistani food, fire. I have to say.
Really, bro? Thanks.
My uncle is a chef, and it's like some of the best food I've ever had. It's like at
Oh,
his restaurant.
your aunt's husband? That
That's
guy?
yeah.
Oh, word.
He's a very good cook, bro. I
What
honestly.
which foods has he made for you?
Um,
If you know the names.
dal, butter chicken, lamb chops, uh, chicken pakora or chicken tikka, fish pakora. Just a lot of
Those are
whatever. I don't
fire,
know.
bro.
Biryani.
Yeah.
His biryani is really good. My grandma makes really good biryani too. But that's also thing. My grandma, like my grandma's food, like this Smiley food, is not Indian, okay, because the spices are way different. It's nothing
Yeah.
close to Pakistani food, right? It's such a lighter taste. It's like a lot lighter taste, and she uses a lot of African spices. So like even her living in like Africa changed her like the way our recipes. Like her butter
Yeah.
chicken green, bro. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I was like,
Yo, I
I was
need to
like,
try that.
huh? It's
I need
weird.
to
I don't
try that
know.
green.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. I was like, I saw it. I was like, are you sure it's not spoiled? Like, what's going on? Like, it's so shocked. Like, anytime I buy chicken, it's always at my uncle's restaurant, right? And she made it for me, and I was like, what the hell? She's like, we make it all the time. And she makes samosas. Her samosas are like crazy, but they're nothing like
She
Indian.
makes samosas?
Yeah,
Bro, isn't that hard as hell?
she like wakes up in the morning, makes samosas, she freezes them, and then I just defrost them and fry them
That's
whenever.
so sick.
Yeah, she makes food like every day, and then she wakes up and makes mani and roti and everything in the mornings. Every day morning, she said that she used to do that in Africa, like for the village. Like she'd wake
Yeah.
up and she'd make bread for everybody, and then they'd give it out to everybody, like in their like thing. It's weird.
That's sick, bro. So cooking and like baking is like that's like kind of like rooted in your family, right?
To an
So
extent, yeah. I think with my grandma, especially, my dad's mom, like, may God rest her soul, but she could not cook, bro.
no, wait,
Like,
wait, wait. So do you think that you're yeah, I guess like bro, you make good food. I've seen you remember your private story a couple
yeah,
months
yeah.
ago, a couple months back. Bro, you make good looking food. So do you think that that is like your family has influenced that? And to what extent do you think?
Okay, so I think, well, for sure my mom influenced that, because my mom really loved like cooking for everybody. So when my dad used to bring people over, she'd make big feasts, and I would always help her, and I'd be like, I made it all, and I'd be always in the kitchen with my mom.
Yeah.
And I kind of waned away from cooking. I like make eggs for myself in the morning. I used to wake up and make my mom eggs and like do all that kind of stuff for her.
Yeah.
And I think I never really like pushed myself to make like lunch and dinner. And then Ramadan came one time, and I like really was craving, like, especially because I was eating halal during that time, and I was really craving like burgers and all this like really heavy stuff. And I can't, I can't just go to regular like McDonald's and get a burger anymore. I didn't really like McDonald's when I could, but I'm just saying like that example.
Yeah.
And I started making my own stuff, and bro, made shit food. I was garbage, bro. I was literally like bad, but the thing is, I would eat it because it was my own cooking, and it's like I knew it was bad. I wouldn't give it to anybody, but I'd eat it and I'd finish it. I'd finish my plate always, because for some reason when I make bad food, but I know what I made, it's like I'm okay with it being bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as you start making bad food, you start getting like the idea of like what you did wrong and kind of thing, and you just trial and error it until
Learn
you get it.
from
But
that.
like
Yeah.
I have to tell you, like fasting like an entire day and then having a terrible meal is so sad. I tried making this Turkish dish. Okay, it's called Iskender. It's pita bread with this like shawarma almost. Okay, it's
Yeah.
pretty similar to chicken, which people made shawarma. Don't care what anybody says. Doner means to spin. Okay, it's literally Turkish word. These people are all wrong. Arabs don't understand. Arabs, I literally have beef with Arabs. I don't even care. I was talking to this one chick. I was literally like, bro, your guys' food sucks. Um, I'm gonna get jumped.
You get some dislikes for that, bro.
No, it's my opinion. No worry. You can find my hate. You can give me my hate mail. But
Okay, okay.
like the way Turkish people make shawarma is like really good. Like there's no sauces. We don't do ketchup or anything. We like don't do any kind of sauce. It's just the
Yeah.
meat. It's in tomato, lettuce, pickles, or spicy peppers and pickles. But it's like the spicy peppers are like these are whole peppers, and you eat them on the side while you're eating it.
Oh, so it's
It
not actually in it. Okay, yeah.
it's like the meat is like just so good, because what they do is they layer it, right? They layer like fresh meat, and then they put a thing of lamb fat at the top, and they let it spin for hours and hours. Like they take their time with it. People here don't know what they're making, because first of all, a lot of people come here and they're not chefs in their countries, but they miss their own food, so they start making their own food here. You know what I'm saying? And you eat like some shawarma. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, what's going on here, man? You don't know how to make food. Like, you're killing me right now. And they fast cook it, and then what they do is they cut it and then they put it onto a stove and they start chopping it up. I'm like, what is going on?
So they're not doing it properly. Yeah.
They're not doing it properly. You're supposed to do the slices of meat, and it's supposed to take hours because it makes the meat really tender, and it's so
Hmm.
far. Anyways, so I made the dish. I'm trying to make the dish. Bro, I'm not a chef. I understand how they feel. I understand how I felt like Arab. Okay, like the food was terrible. Okay, I had the meat, and I crushed it for some reason, and I put it onto the pita, and you usually have it with yogurt and a nice like a spicy pepper on the side, and they
Yeah.
pour tomato sauce, like there's like tomato sauce, and then they pour butter, like just straight butter on top of the meat.
What the hell?
And bro, this food is like literally you eat it, you just want to go to bed after, but it's so good, like it's so good. And
So where can I
I
find
tried
this?
make you right. You have to go to Turkey or Germany. Germany, there's a lot of Turkish people.
Not here at all? In
No,
Calgary
you
at all?
can't find it here. Turkish
Damn.
people here, they're not shy. There's one guy, but he doesn't. His food's okay. I don't want him to come after me, but
Okay, okay.
um, so I tried making it because I really missed it. This one lady actually made it for me. She's from a little bit farther. She's from closer to. She's closer. She's like middle of Turkey. I'm like outskirts of Turkey,
Yeah.
and I'm eating it. I'm like, this is garbage, bro. Like I didn't know what I did. I didn't cook the meat long enough. I didn't do something, and he's like, it's just tough. And I'm like trying to like cutting into it. I'm just like eating it. My eyes were so red when I was eating it, bro. I was so sad. And then today
Bro,
I tried to make brisket, bro. Like it gets better. Like I've made some really good dishes. Like I made a couple nights ago. What was it? It was like hot honey like fried chicken. It was really good.
wait,
I
wait. Repeat that. What was it?
hot honey fried chicken.
Bro, hold up. Check Snapchat for a second. Honey fried chicken.
Hot honey fried chicken.
No, no, no. Wait. Just look on Snapchat. Is this what you're talking about? Explain this.
Oh my god. But that was fire.
Bro,
You're a hater. First of all,
dude,
everybody,
this is
I got hate.
disgusting,
I
bro.
got hate mail for that, but that's what he's talking about is the chicken and waffles, bro. My chicken and waffles. I made those waffles by hand, and it was savory. Okay, they're all savory. Everything was savory. The chicken was super spicy, and then you pour maple syrup on top of it to get, and it was just super crunchy, bro. That show was.
Bro, you need help, bro. That
You
is
never
so
had. The thing
disgusting.
is you're
Nah,
an immigrant, you've never had chicken and waffles, it's okay. But if you go to America, this is literally an American staple.
it's an American thing,
It's an American thing.
bro.
You
That
go for
makes it
chicken
10
and
times
waffles.
worse. That's freaking disgusting, bro.
Oh my god, it's disgusting.
This is from your Ramadan
Yeah,
thing.
I made it for my family, bro. I had faith in that recipe, and everybody liked it. So,
Well, dude, it just looks terrible. But whatever. Your
oh
other things
no,
are fire. What's
here, let
fire?
me tell you a story. Okay, you know Noor,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
male one,
yeah.
yeah, right. He tells me that he made brownies for Ramadan for his family. But instead of using sugar, he used salt.
Are you serious, bro? Oh
And
my
everybody
god.
was waiting for it at the end of the day. And they were so angry. And he had to
Bro.
eat it, he ate it all because he didn't want to waste the food. But it was so it's so tough. Like because it's honestly like during Ramadan, that's like the time it would happen. Because what are you gonna do? Taste the salt and see if it's salt or sugar?
Oh yeah, because you can't, yeah,
Yeah.
because you're fasting.
I don't know.
Bro.
Like it's hard. It honestly, like I don't know. Ramadan cooking is hard. One time when I was little, I was fasting. Like my mom was fasting, and she's making me food because I was like whatever hungry. And then she goes, I'm like, oh, how's the soup? And she tries it. She was so angry with me.
Oh my god.
What's my phone?
I mean, it's okay then, right? Because like
Yeah,
it's not
she
it's an
said it was
accident.
yeah. She
Yeah,
told me
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Bro.
It's cooking is definitely a process, and people want to learn. And it's honestly like if you take your time, like like when I first started cooking, I didn't mess up at all because everything I did was recipes. Right
Oh
now, I
yeah.
do it by feeling. Like I'm like I feel like this would be good and that would be good. Chuck it all together. Let's see what happens. And if it fails, it fails. I eat it all. It doesn't fail and whatever. Today I made a brisket. Terrible. I looked up this recipe that I didn't. I usually go with my heart. I cook with my heart, man. Okay. I look at this
That's
recipe.
good.
They're like sear, cook for 40 minutes under pressure cooker in your in because I have an air fryer, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, like this sounds pretty cool. Like I'll try it. And I did all the seasoning and whatever. I'm like, so this smells like it's burning. I open it up, where all the water is evaporated. Literally everything's burning. My eyes were so red. Then I poured a bunch more water and they put some beef bouillon or whatever. And the leftover water after it was done cooking was really good. Okay. I made rice with that. Fire. Poured it into
Oh,
like
okay.
poured the leftover into the rice and I cooked the rice and it's like a flavored rice. It's really good.
Yeah.
Beef brisket, very tough, not tender at all. I should have cut up the fat cap. I rushed it. Bad idea. I'm never gonna follow that recipe again. It said easy beef brisket. Nothing easy is ever good. That's what you have to learn. Nothing is
Oh
easy.
yeah. Good things
Honestly,
come
education,
hard.
right?
That sounds very wrong, but gotta edit that out.
But yeah, I think cooking is very I think cooking, knowing your like own country's dishes or even your family's dishes, because I have a killer cheesecake recipe passed down through generations already.
You make desserts too,
Bro, have to. What do you
not just
know?
entrees,
These shorties gonna have to eat something. What?
dude. Yeah, bro. You gotta send me some.
Yeah, okay. It was like, yeah, we have like a family recipe for cheesecake, but my grandma it came from my grandma. My grandma doesn't remember the recipe. My mom's passed it down to me. Now I know it. Never giving the
That's
secret.
sick.
But yeah, cooking is, I think, knowing either through family or even like your mom or dad. Yeah, because your mom probably does. I don't know if you in your family, but most of the time people's moms do a lot of cooking, and it's like kind of it's time to spend time with your mom. And it's also kind of know what they know, like kind of see what they know, how they cut the fruit. Do they cut it in their hands or do they?
Oh, brown mom, yeah, cutting in
Yeah,
their hands.
literally, I'm
Yeah,
like, you're literally a menace. How do you not?
yeah, bro. And you know how like brown moms like touch things on the stove just straight up with their hands, no spatula or anything,
My grandma literally
bro.
wakes every time she makes bread in the morning. She throws the thing on, flips it with her hand, and then touches it. I'm like, what are you doing?
How do they do that, bro? I don't understand.
Literally, like literally a menace. I'm just like, why? You don't have to do this. Why do you hurt
Yeah,
yourself?
I don't know.
Mm,
Brown moms have something else, bro, in their hands, man.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
cooking is
yeah, you're
whatever.
that's dude. Men cooking, that's something we need to start. And
Yeah, right.
you're on the you're already on the train, so
It's a
the
basic. I
cooking
feel like it's a
train.
basic human. Like, yeah, it's a human thing to know, and also like it's like along with knowing for everybody. I feel like everybody should do a couple things in their life: learn how to cook, take biology, and
Take
don't worry
biology.
about the third one. I'll think about the third one. I'll tell you when I think about it.
Okay.
Like, take biology. Let me explain why I say take biology. When I took
Anti-vax, I
bio,
guess.
huh?
For the
Anti-vax?
anti-vaxxers.
No.
Okay.
Anti-vaxxers, whatever. That help you with the anti-vaxxer argument. I think it's very important to know for the future. One, designer babies, gene editing, how we're on the cusp of literally playing God. Okay, with our own genes,
Yeah.
we can. We're at the point where we can almost cure cancer. Like this Pfizer vaccine is the way they'll cure cancer because a
We'll see if
cancer
that's
in
true.
your
I'll mark your words.
wait, um cancer is your body making a cell that can't be killed and eventually takes too much nutrients from you. You can't, and you try to cut it out, but it's replicated itself too fast, you die, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You can program a cell to kill itself, okay, by injecting it with a certain thing, and it would literally get rid of the cancer in your body. It would find every single thing that matched that same DNA code, get rid of it out of your body. You could literally cure cancer, and that's how they will cure cancer. That's what the cure to cancer will be. But with that, it's also the cure to autism. It's a gene passed down through many people where it's hereditary. Sometimes it's hereditary, sometimes it's by like, it's just how you're born. But if you can change that in a baby before it's born, that they do not have that gene or that gene doesn't register, and it actually produce and actually the body naturally fixes itself. It's CRISPR. I know you probably heard of that. Maybe who viewers have probably heard of that.
I haven't heard of it actually.
You
Even
should
though
you
I'm
should
taking
search up.
bio.
There's a video about it by Kartzkerzot or whatever. They're like this German YouTube channel, but they're like really like it's very important, I think, for everybody to know this, because in the
Yeah.
future we could get to a point where autism, like we wouldn't have special needs kids because you could already make sure your kid isn't like that from out the womb. They wouldn't come out. You can make sure your kid has perfect vision, blue eyes, blonde hair. You could choose anything
Why
you want.
blue eyes, blonde hair?
Yeah, I'm saying that's like I don't know. Maybe Hitler comes back. I don't know. Maybe he just wants that. But I'm saying like you can make your kid a certain height. If they could isolate the gene that makes people tall, they can make sure that your kid is tall. They can make your kid glow in the dark for all they care. But it's like, but then you get to the point where it's like in the future, like, will that be the technology is very cheap. You can actually buy it on Amazon. Okay, you probably don't know how to use it, but you could probably buy it. You can inject yourself, whatever. Okay,
I think, yeah, the gene editing stuff you're talking about.
yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
very,
We I think we talked
very
about that in my bio class actually.
yeah, and we talked. Yeah, that's why I remember it, and I like was looking into it with a couple other videos and whatever. I kind of get the gist of it. I don't know. I'm probably someone taking biology probably knows more than I do, right? But like, I think about the actual logistics of it. It's like, will they make the technology is not expensive, but the doctors that do it will charge a fee, for sure.
Oh, to make a
But
bunch of
then
money.
So then what happens in the future? Do we have poor people that are poor because they're actually genetically disadvantaged compared to rich people? Are rich people going to have the best looking people, be the best looking people in the world in the future? Will everybody be designer babies? And but you don't, like, let's say you decide to have a natural birth. Like you don't want your kid to, you just want you to marry your wife and whatever comes out, Allah decides. But your kid's like
Yeah.
5'4" freak in class full of like 6'3" jack kids. Like, I don't know, like, like it's like you're literally breeding the perfect kid. And there's a story about this. I think you should look it up. I told my friends about it. I've been literally spouting it to everybody. It's called All's Tomorrow, or All Tomorrows, or All's Tomorrow. I think it's All Tomorrows. It's
All
a
tomorrows.
creepy ass thing, bro. It's about like alien. It's like saying that aliens created it's the story about how aliens created us a long time ago. Okay, they put us in. They like played God. They put us onto Earth to like mine the resources of all of space. Okay, we finally in the future we get so advanced that we take over the solar system, entire solar system arms. We genetically modify our bodies to last longer through space travel, go through like a hibernation sleep, and we can go to anywhere in the universe. The space wars, whatever, all this stuff happens. But then we get to a point where they're watching us behind like a black curtain, and they come back and they take everything we've have. They start editing our genes and make us into actual animals. Like they make our tongue
What
so
the hell?
long that like some people like big and their tongues super long. So like they act like elephants. They make people like certain people into fish. They take away certain people's eyes. The people that fought back the most against the alien invasion, they made them into bottom feeders that eat shit, but they're still so cognitive. But the only way they can survive is to eat the alien shit. That's how it's a fucked up story. But it's like it's to an extent where it's like honestly, they could probably fuck up a person that bad to where like they're literally like a monster, coming out the womb because you don't know. Like science will get to a point where it's so accurate that you can make designer babies, but it's like until the other end, you could probably like make someone so deformed that they even wouldn't be considered human. It's
Yeah,
so
bro.
weird, right?
Dude, you saying that and it's making me think about the countries and organizations and people that will misuse this and
Yeah.
like make
Think about like
people
China. I
like
don't think
stuff.
China's already doing this to their people, bro. You're gonna
Oh,
start seeing
probably,
the
man.
Olympics. China starts winning too many Olympics. I'm like, hey, yo, what are you voting?
Bro, they're already doing crazy things to our people, man. Imagine what else they're doing.
I know that's
That's
why
not
it's
being
scary to an extent, and I think everybody should take a biology, like should have took biology in high school. That's like high school level biology. That's what I know. Like I'm not taking uni. I'm not like these people that are going to become doctors or scientists, right? But I think it's good to be. It's not good to be scientifically illiterate in those things because the world's moving at such a fast pace, and like I don't know like to what extent you can really change like stop that because people want to cure cancer, people want to stop diseases. We won't have vaccinations like we have now. We will literally be able to change the genetic makeup of your DNA to where you would have the virus in your system, but that virus couldn't connect to any of your parts. We could they've already talked about doing this to flies or like mosquitoes that transfer malaria.
Oh yeah.
They could have you seen that? Like they could change one thing to make sure the malaria like gene doesn't bond or malaria virus doesn't bond, and it could go through like 4 generations. Literally, it would take like 2 years, and the flies wouldn't be able to transfer malaria to people, and people would literally stop dying of malaria.
So
And
it'd be
that's
after the four generations are done that malaria would be eliminated, you're
yeah,
saying.
but it's gonna take 4 months because fly. I think 4 months or like it's or a year, like 4 months to a year. It's a very short period of time because flies have reproduced very fast and
That's
they
like
die very
yeah.
quick. So
Okay,
they would just
word.
reproduce and go through, and it would literally you'd release like a group of it, but they don't know what other things could happen. They're trying in very like low things, but like let's say
Small
you make a
trials, yeah.
super mosquito that can never die, it lives forever, and then like eats all the crops, and starts attacking people. Like that'd be crazy. Like there's nothing you could do to stop that.
Yeah.
So that's also another thing that they to what extent can humans play God and what extent should be illegal. It's gonna be another big point in the future, especially like during our time, maybe even our kids' time, maybe our not even like it for sure be our kids' time. I think.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna come back to this podcast in like what 70 years and see if everything you said was true or not.
Maybe I'm just completely wrong. Maybe they're just like, no, we can't do that, man.
I mean, some of the things you're saying actually, I think could be possible, bro. Like that
I
whole
think
gene thing. I've heard about that. We like, I'm in I don't know. You probably don't know the bio class in UFC that you take in first year, but it's like all about like that first half is about DNA replication, and
mhm,
it's talking about exactly the stuff you're talking about, like gene altering genes and stuff.
yeah,
Like that stuff is scary, bro.
it's
So
scary and
scary.
it's gonna happen. And it's like, do I like
Inshallah.
will I be the person that doesn't give my kid all the opportunities? Like, don't I want my kid to be like, genetically able not to get injured or not to get sick? And but then it's like, to what extent do I have should a parent have control? That's going to be a question.
Yeah,
Should people, and people will do it even without, like, even if it's illegal. You have like kids with like superpowers, bro. Like,
bro.
the last one.
I'm wondering, would this gene stuff, this gene altering, be haram or halal? What do you think?
I don't know. To the extent it's like God makes every person, designs every person, so maybe it is blasphemous. So it would it be let's say, if you look at from one point, you say, like, you take like the Christian's point of view. The Christians say God created every person. He should be the only say to like how we live and how we look and how we die and how we're born. But then you have some people saying that, like, and then you have our like, I think like more Muslim perspective would be like, we are always like encouraged to pursue knowledge. We're expected to be educated. We're expected to, like, even in the Quran it said, if you like, no, I don't know if it says in the Quran. I don't want to paraphrase. Like, I'm just gonna paraphrase like what, like, our kind of belief system,
Yeah.
and that it, like, even if you miss prayer, as long as you're studying, it's like it's still a good thing. Like, Allah will reward people who study and being educated in your deen and everything. So, like, does that include, like, continuing on? We believe in a lot of science, and we, even ancient Muslim philosophers, believed that the world was round and not flat. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, we believe that before anybody. And science was such a big pushing point for Muslims
Oh yeah, especially yeah
in the
the Middle
Middle
East.
East. We were driving science, and we're driving like we were the cleanest people. We looked after, we stopped disease. And this kind of, feel like this kind of falls under the same kind of sort, where we're just pushing how, like, the lives of our like generations to follow. But then it gets to a point where it's like, what if we can make people live forever? What if death becomes to a point where it's like, you don't have kids, you just, your wife has you and her, like, what I'm saying, like, you're able to give birth to yourself, you're able to clone yourself or something like that, you're able to go,
What?
you're able to, like, get your cells, manifest them, manifest them to a point where they're literally the shape of you. You do a brain transplant, boom, you're living in a new body. What happens?
I think that would definitely be
I feel
wrong.
like I feel like that's wrong.
Yeah,
I would never want to live forever.
I
I would
don't think
want to live
anyone would.
longer.
Yeah,
I don't want to live longer, not forever. My anxiety doesn't want me to die. But at a certain point, it's like once my loved ones and everybody are gone, what am I here for? What impact did I leave? What, that's your own kind of thing. It's like, life is so
yeah,
beautiful because it's so finite. And
very true.
you lose
I
that
agree.
finiteness. It's like, what is it worth?
What's the point?
Love is so crazy. We're always on the passion for love, because that's how we have our future generations, and that's how we, leave a mark on our world, because that's who we're tied to, bro. Like,
Yeah,
if I live forever, what I need to do all this for? Like, I take my time, do whatever I want. But it's like, tomorrow I might die, so I have to tell everybody I love them. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
If I
you.
don't have to appreciate that, whatever. And there's
Yeah,
a lot of things to think about.
bro, that was so deep. Yo, I'm gonna yo you talked about this for like 1 second, like your university classes or whatever.
Okay.
What? So we didn't even talk after like Churchill after like high school. What? So you're doing basketball, right? In Kelowna?
Yeah.
Dude,
I was
tell me
on
about that because I don't really know anything about what you're doing.
Okay, so COVID happened after grade 11 season, and I was playing like backseat to Abdul, who was in grade 12, and he's finishing up the season. And I honestly I think I played really well that season towards end, but I never really had any like lots of playing time where I was playing very good. So especially like some of our games didn't even get filmed. But I didn't have any film to send to any of these coaches. When 2 years went by, I gained a lot of weight. It was 215 in quarantine and barely playing basketball, but I still love basketball. I was still doing like it's kind of in
Yeah.
my mind. I still want to, want to do in college or go for college. And grade 12 comes, we don't have a season. I'm still training like crazy and I put a lot of work and I'm just hitting up these universities. Simon Fraser University and NBC is talking with me, and they're getting my hopes up. They hold me. They're like, "You can join our second team." Second team? What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and like, I didn't understand. They want me to pay for college university courses at Simon Fraser University or Fraser Valley University, FVU, not SFE, FVU, and they're a U
Yeah.
Sport team along with University of Calgary. And I was talking with the University of Calgary coach, like, can I come try out for you? And he said, yeah. And I had all these things planned, but everything just fell through and I didn't have anywhere to go. And I was going to Turkey and I went to Turkey and the coaches liked me there. They said, come like this year. And they would have trained me all through the year and they would have tried and got me into a team. But one of my coaches said, like, stay here for a year, see how it goes. I shouldn't have listened to him. I should have went to Turkey. What the hell? Like, screw that. But I stayed here. Canada. I went to Kelowna, met all these white people, whatever. And I'm there and I'm taking three courses. I'm taking like business program, I'm taking business program at the UC. So I got into the UFC. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got into University of Calgary. I had all my classes planned out and I didn't drop them until maybe like a week before like semester started. But my mom's like, no, take a course because then you'll be able to continue your education if you like at University of Calgary and everything's online anyways, you can do it from home. So I did my courses from online while doing them online, and I did one course at UC. I did statistics, and then while I was in Kelowna, I did three different courses. They're like whatever courses. I don't know. I remember, but they're like
Yeah.
Oh, no, I remember English and like two business courses, computer applications. Okay, yeah. Um, and I went through that, and I was out there living by myself with like with like two roommates, one guy, and then actually three roommates, one guy, and then his on my team, and another guy from Winnipeg with that came down with his girlfriend, and they're all on the team and whatever. And I played out there. I was playing out there, and I came from Turkey and I was literally out of shape. Not gonna lie, coming to season, I'm out of shape. I didn't really like. I was kind of like chilling in Turkey, and it took my time. I don't know. I was
Enjoying
like
that food,
enjoying
bro.
the weather,
The good food.
enjoying the weather, and come bro, I'm gassed at practices. This guy like saw me before, and he saw like I came to one of his tryouts, and I was like dominating kids, and then I came there, and I'm like out of shape and whatever. So this guy, I swear, he wrote me off. But I started putting in a lot of work. I was like lifting, and I was like really excited for the season. And that like week I was killing at practice, and I was doing like a lot better than I had been in a while. And I just do this move, and I tear my plantar fascia. Okay, like I spin off, I spin, I push off, I hit the shot, I land, I hear a big pop. I thought it's my shoe, bro. I my foot goes down again. I go to press on it, I fall because I had no tension in my toe. I couldn't push off. I was so shocked. I thought I tore
What
my
the
ACL
hell?
or like I thought I ruptured my Achilles. I didn't know. But I just felt crazy pain. I didn't know,
Yeah.
and I sat there and I sat there until all of practice, and I sat on the side, and they like didn't understand what could have happened. And then finally, I asked my roommate to drive me to a hospital after practice, and then they're like, "Oh, it's a partial tear. They probably ruptured your plantar fascia. You go for MRI. I go for MRI. They tell me anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months, and
Bro, what the hell?
I'm there already. I've paid my rent. I'm already in the courses. Like I can't go back home, so I'm just there, and I swear, like it's like some of the most depressing time I think I've been through, where it's like I don't know why I'm there. I don't know. I barely know anybody. I'm walking on crutches, and like I went to a little bit of depression during that time, and my mom was pissed. because it's just like how you're gonna get injured, like and they waste a bunch of money, like you're living there. And my dad is like, he's just like, that's so crazy that happened. And my mom said it's my fault because I came into the season out of shape, and she thinks that because I was out of shape, it was easier for me to get injured. And probably true, whatever. It was a very depressing time. I went to my room was a mess. Everything was a mess. Like the house was a mess, whatever. Like I literally didn't know what to do. Every day I'm just like watching Netflix, whatever. Trying to do as much school as possible. And finally my foot starts to heal. I'm starting going through rehab. And I think like just one day it clicked where I was like I have to like start getting everything in order. And I started icing my foot every day, and I was massaging it, and my foot started to come back, and it like was healing a lot better. And I went through a whole clean of my room. Like I cleaned up everything. I made sure everything was clean, and I started keeping things clean, and I was cooking every day and a lot more motivated. Like just for some reason, like this motivation hit me, and I was like started working out properly and like lifting. And it still was tough. Like I did not feel like that motivated. But then what really I think, even though I was injured and I missed the entire season, I finally my foot finally healed when I came back for Christmas break. I'm
Yeah.
coming out of Christmas break. I rolled my ankle, and I'm
Oh no.
playing. I played through it. I pushed myself to play through it. I'm like, I have to play. Like I just got back, and by the time I was like really fully healed and I was killing at practice, they tell me, I really wish that we knew that you were going to play this good before, because I didn't put your name on the roster and I can't play you. And I'm like, now my entire year is wasted. The only thing that really like kind of put me at ease is like while I was there, I got my mind right first. First for basketball, like I watched a lot of film. I was sitting there, I was like pouring over film, looking at what the guy above me is doing wrong and how I could do what he was doing better. Right? I'm just looking over film, looking over film, looking over film, and really like I think it really made me like make sure like this basketball is what's for me, almost think kind of thing, because like that's kind of I want to put all my energy into. That's where I
Yeah.
feel the most at home and where I feel the most comfortable. It's like I don't think I could do it without it. So like that's why I feel like it made me love basketball a little more, but also like the injury really put me in a bad place for like a little bit. And I was like, I'm away from all my friends, away from everybody I know. It was like hard living out there.
I can't imagine that, bro.
Then white women and life terrible. Um, come back and it's good. I feel like it's good to be back home, and I'm starting to put back. I was putting and then I was putting a lot of work. I was waking up at 6 a.m. We barely had any gym time because this school was a little bit like it's underfunded. Okay,
Yeah.
and they're like everybody there was very nice. I met a lot of really good people, and they're all very genuine. But I don't think I'd go back there. But a lot of people there were very nice, and they helped me through a couple of times. And then I'm out at parties, and white people will come up to me, and they're like, you really smell good for a brown guy." What's funny? What do you mean by that? Like one girl comes up to me, she's like, "I think you're cute, but like you have a beard, bro. Shut up,
The
shut up."
beard is what makes men look better. What do you mean? Yours is
Like, just
fine.
haters, bro. Um, Yeah, no, they don't really like they see brown people, but they don't know brown people like me. They just think I'm Indian, right? And I'm like, I'm not like a lot of Indian guys, there's like a lot of Indian people there, but I'm not even like them, right? And it's mostly white people. It's like old white people and like a lot of other white people.
What the heck?
But yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting time. I think um I learned I learned to deal with white people a little bit more. If that makes sense. No, like yeah. Okay, I'm not trying to be racist here, but I'm
Okay.
definitely gonna be racist. Listen, um, Spanish people, brown people, but Arabs and Pakistani people, black people, all I feel like show respect. They're very respectful. They understand like your cult. They like respect you like that you have a difference of culture, and they're very like they're funny and they know how to get a joke across without being like rude.
Yeah.
I find white people to be kind of obnoxious in that kind of area. where I don't think they mean it, and they've never dealt with people who have this kind of like history in their in their name, behind their name and their cultures and stuff like that. So they're just they just think it's weird. They don't understand why you're so different from everybody else. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's racist. That makes sense, and it's actually
And
kind of
then
true.
Indian people, what I find even difference from them, Northern Indian people are very nice. Sikhs are very nice. They're some of the nicest people you ever met, right? There's some people, some of them are just very cocky, and I can't get along with them in the area. I know a lot of people that get along with Indian people. They're very there's some that are very nice. I know like that. I know Satvik here, and there's one kid on my team who was like very nice. And I honestly like growing up here, I kind of always felt the need to distance myself from Indian people because everybody thought I was Indian. I'm like, no, I'm not Indian, blah blah blah. And I had this kind of bad thought about Indian people.
Yeah.
And even to be honest, I don't I've always distanced myself from brown people in general because I never want to be associated with them for some reason. And I feel like I had that kind of self-hatred for myself and for yeah, and for other brown people, like why they do like that, why they talk their own language, why they like this, why they like that. I felt so I felt that kind of racism towards them always. And I feel like I've started to grow out of it, especially understanding myself more and understanding that being okay and being your own culture is actually is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Indian people are very proud, and they're actually they're proud about their culture and their thing, and they're trying to show it to other people. And I don't I feel like if I did that, my own family or my own culture is not like that. Like they're very modest. I feel like we preach a lot of modesty in that kind of
Yeah.
sort of situation. So I feel like that's why they kind of rub me the wrong way. They're not my cup of tea, but I don't hate them as people as much as I did when I was younger, if that makes sense. Because I've grown to understand that that's why it's like a cultural difference between us, and I'm not gonna like everybody, and they're not gonna always like me either. I'm very quiet and modest, and they're I'm not I'm not quiet. That's actually a lie. I feel but culturally, I feel like I'm modest and I'm very understanding of other people's cultures, right? But
Yeah.
they're very open with their culture, and they're trying to share it with everybody. And I think that's not a bad thing. But for me, it rubs me the wrong way. So that's why I feel like sometimes I can't get along with a lot of Indian people. But the Sikhs and everything, they're very respectful and they're very kind and they're very humble. And I get along with them a lot better. So it just how it ends up kind of being.
Yeah.
And they're yeah, I like getting to know them because they are a minority in India, from what I know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'm
think they are. Yeah, yeah. I think
yeah, they
Hindu
are
is
minority
the majority.
Muslims in and then the Muslim Indian people are very nice too, right?
Oh yeah.
They're also minorities. And then it's like I get along with those people very well because I feel like they also even if they're not even if they're not like my culture, even if they're the same kind of religion, they kind of do follow the same values in their own rights. But even
Yeah.
then, it's still a little bit different. I know, but Pakistani people, for some reason, I get along with. They're funny and I know I get along with them a lot better for some reason. But it's just weird. Yeah, I know.
Like
I like
me.
Rayon and Mustafa and all that kind of stuff. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I end up hanging with them a lot. And then
Mhm.
even you, when we hang out, it's very easy to talk to you and stuff. Because I just feel like we have that kind of relation in that kind of in not just the relation, but just respect for mutual respect for each other.
Yeah, yeah. No, when we started this call, like before recording, it's just like picking up right where we left off from like high school.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
think
very natural.
yeah, I think so. Mm. So yeah, I think especially so that's also growing up as a minor, like a major minority. I'm the only brown person in a sea full of all Asian kids, and I feel ashamed of honestly my culture to express myself in that kind of way. And like I don't know, I feel like I shied away from it for most of my life until I met a lot of people from the TLC program, and when I got into high school, where I met a lot more people
We're
who were
like
Muslim,
you.
who
Yeah.
prayed, who went did all this other stuff. I felt so much more normal, I felt normal
Hmm.
as a person just meeting all these people. Like my culture wasn't something bad or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bro, I like. I like your focus on culture. I think that's something that I haven't really thought about too much.
Mhm.
And I think that bringing that up and like looking at the differences, I think that's actually like very valuable.
It's very
Like
valuable, but
straight up, bro.
not just for brown people. It's valuable for black people too, because black people come here, they're all considered black, right? But then you have the East Africans, Ethiopians, the Somalians, the Sudanese people, these people all don't get along with each other in their own countries. Okay. These guys are not all friends in their own countries. Then they
Yeah.
come here and they're forced to be, they're all like, you guys are all the same, blah, blah, blah. Why don't black people do this for all black people? All black people are not one person, bro. Like just like brown, you can't just say you're brown. All brown people aren't brown, like just brown. Like when you say there's a distinction between us because you're Pakistani and I'm not even I'm Turkish to an extent. I'm like half Turkish, whatever, but I have that kind of experience, right?
Yeah.
And just growing up, and I there's just things that we click on, and there's things that we disagree on, and it's going to happen for everybody. And it's a lot easier to get along with people who kind of have the same mentality as you. And I think that's why brown people's like a lot of brown people here, their cultures all mixed up. I know, I know Muslim Ismailis that like drink and do all this stuff, and I'm like, it's not like I'm not judging them for drinking, like if that's your own choice, but they don't think of it as wrong in that situation because it just never came up to them as like being in a bad situation. All my friends are doing it. They're all brown like me. We all their cultures model. My grandma doesn't know any knows many languages, but she barely speaks any like Punjabi or anything, right? She doesn't. She watches like her shows, but it's all in Gujarati, and that's
Oh, what the
another
heck? Yeah.
yeah. It's a minority language. It's from Gujarat.
Yeah.
Okay. But Gujarat, they're very it's very messed up place. But she has that culture to her too. And that's why like even if you say my grand like okay, my great grandma's grand mom was living in India, but then she escaped from Iran. But I don't have any ties to Iran or India, or I have the most ties I have is to East Africa. But people will be like, no, you're not your family's not East African. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just have those kind of ties, and I have a lot of model of culture. But I think having that, like, even being biracial to an extent, I am able to see why there's so many, like, why it's hard for people to like come together in unison for like as brown people because we are a lot different, and there's a lot of things that feel wrong to me that some brown people do. But it's like it's how life goes.
Yeah. That's so true, bro.
Yeah, I know brown people, like I know Ismailis that watch Bollywood films. I'm like, dog, like I don't have any really. How do we have relation to Bollywood? Like we don't know anything. You guys are from there. You guys are from East Africa, or you guys are from like the other place. You're from some of these Afghanis watch like Bollywood movies. I'm like, you guys are all Ismaili. Like you guys don't have any relation to that. Speaking of which, isn't it so messed up that so many Afghanis look Chinese?
Oh yeah, yeah. So many do. We had a couple in our yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they do look Chinese.
It's because of the
It's because
Mongolians.
yeah, yeah, they're bordering like China too, aren't they?
Yeah, but a lot of like the Mongols came and pillaged those villages, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, bro. What was that guy's name?
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Genghis Khan, yeah. Bro is a freaking menace to society,
Yeah.
bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, bro. But
Okay.
I think yeah, that's why culture. I think culture is very important for people to also look like to themselves with, and then I feel like I met this Turkish girl straight from Turkey, and honestly, I didn't realize how much I have in common with her just because like my dad like just because my dad's so like immigrant, right? Like I know I feel so much connection with her, but even then I have like this kind of like distance with her because I haven't been there, I haven't grown up in the same area she has, but I speak the
Yeah.
language. So what I'm gonna talk about now is a little bit of fetishization culture and then being brown in this kind of society. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be I don't know how I want to go I won't go too long, but I'll kind of like give you a speed run on what I want to talk about it for it.
Okay, for
Uh,
sure, bro.
a lot of girls Like, like when they fantasize about like who they would date, it's like, it's usually white, or maybe it's an Asian guy, or maybe it's black. But I feel like brown guys sometimes on the totem pole are like pretty low, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of
I
like
think
just
that's true.
they think that we're like, like these immigrants that don't know anything about life, or we're like they have these ideas about what we are and what we're supposed to be, right?
Hmm.
I feel like as I'm trying to make relationship, or like as I'm, in this day and age, I kind of I wonder if it's even possible to have like, marry somebody without dating them, first of all. So then, you're getting to the point of religion, but it's like, I've been on dates with girls. Like, let's be honest. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've been on dates with girls, and it's just interesting because like I feel like I draw myself a lot close. I don't draw myself to a lot of like I don't know how you can find a Muslim girl, because I'm like, I don't ever want to date an hijabi, right? Because doesn't that feel morally wrong to you? I feel like that feels morally wrong to me.
Yeah, yeah, it does because it's contradictory.
Yeah, it's like, because they're supposed to, like, in my eyes, they're very pure, and the fact that they've committed to that, and they're doing that, that's a very big step for them, and that's a very, like, honestly, I feel like if I have a daughter, I'd make it seem very, I'd tell her it's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful thing to do, but it would have to be her choice, because I feel like there's a lot of girls that are forced into wearing it, and then they are the ones that are like, let's go crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, we I've
like,
seen that
I don't know what kind of things they go to. It's hard being a woman like that in this society.
for
And
sure.
I want to marry someone Muslim, but I also saw this one sheikh talk about it, right? He says, it's probably Mufti Menk or something, but I don't know. Who cares?
Hmm.
He says, like, even if you marry someone who isn't Muslim or whatever, showing how good your deen is and being respectful and being like the Prophet Muhammad was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he would joke with his wives, and um he would joke with his wives, and he'd be very respectful to them, and he'd laugh with them all the time, hang out with them, but he would always pray in front of them, right? And he told that to this guy who was having this issue with his wife. He wanted to be more religious, but he didn't know how to be more religious, and he wanted his wife to be more religious. The sheikh told him, don't don't force her into it. That's the like automatic wrong thing to do. She'll pull away, and you guys will start to argue. So start doing it on your own. Be nicer, be kinder to her, and eventually she'll follow your lead. So I'm like, okay, I'm living in this society where what, like 90% of the people here are probably Christian or whatever, or they don't care, or they're atheist, and
Yeah, just
don't,
anything but Muslim. Yeah.
yeah, it's anything but Muslim. And know, I want to date. I want to like I want to get a girlfriend. I want to do this, but then it's like, do I really want to date? Like, it's for me, like dating is very serious. Like dating is like I'm thinking about marriage. For me, it's very, I don't know if it's like my blood or whatever, but like I feel like in my mind when I meet a girl, it's like I automatically think like, would I marry her? Will I show her to my parents? Would this happen? People will hear like, I'm not a white person. Like I can't just date just to date. I'm not just dating to fool around, like, do all this kind of stuff. Like it's pretty serious to me, but it's not
Yeah,
serious to everybody here. And it's like, it's hard to find those relations with people who are outside of your culture, right? And I feel like growing up in an area where was so kind of forced out of being brown, I don't really I'm not really like pulled towards brown girls. But I think brown girls are very pretty in their own right, and they deserve like proper people to look after them. But I'm like, that's not me. But I feel like I also do attract a lot of brown girls. Like,
of course you do. How could you not? No
this is
homo.
how it is. It's like because I feel like brown girls also think the same way. Like I probably do. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not looking to like go around and sleep with like 50 guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I'm in Kelowna, okay, and I meet this really cool girl at a party, and I told her I'm older than I was, but whatever. I'm going on a date with her, and we're having a really good time. And like, well, I don't know, I took her out, wherever, somewhere, and we're having a really good time. And I tell her, like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I won't do any of that shit. And then immediately I felt this distance between us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because I don't do that stuff, she immediately was like, oh, okay, don't worry about that. And then so okay, like, and then she wanted me to drop her home. And I was like, wow, like it really, like her whole demeanor switched. Like it was like just because I don't do any of this stuff, I just felt this like she just not didn't want to be around me. And I feel like
Fair
as
enough.
I go meet like as I meet people and I do all this other stuff, it's like I don't know if I can find someone who kind of has the same idea as me or like kind of has the same, haram halal ratio that I have, whatever they say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Levels.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but then I feel like as I get older too, is like I start to see, I feel like younger me was very like distant from like being brown. But I feel like as I get more comfortable with myself, I find myself going closer to, I guess, brown girls or whatever. But I feel like it just, I feel like because I do want that kind of, like if I do want a relationship, I want it to be serious. I don't want it to just
Yeah,
be
for
like,
sure.
and I can't do these hookups at like clubs, and I can't do this at parties because I can't fuck drunk women, bro. That's terrible because you're at such an advantageous position to do that. It's like I could like bro, I could like Tinder swim there, run me your pockets. Like where your money at? Like where your pockets? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to do any of that. And I feel this like I'm at clubs and like there's bitches dancing and I'm like, I don't feel like I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to be this whore that goes around and doing like just has like these
Yeah,
one bands and all this stuff, right? Like it's like it's just like how I feel, but it's like I don't know like what to do in that kind of situation. It's just weird.
no,
How do I
no.
meet women? I don't want to be the creepy guy that goes up to people at school and be like, "Hey, man, I thought you were really cute. You want to give me your number?"
I mean, dude, you were definitely that's the last thing you were in high school, to be honest.
Yeah.
Last thing, no. But dude, that makes sense. Like you're being Muslim and the struggle of finding a or like creating a relationship. That's a big problem,
Mm.
and it's like
I
we haven't
got
really been
married.
shown like a natural way.
Hmm.
What were you saying?
I have a friend that just got married to a girl he met through a Muslim dating app. They
What
talked
the hell?
right to his father. Boom, next day. But I feel like I can never do that. I don't think I'm comfortable enough to just marry a girl randomly. I feel like I don't trust people enough to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you feel, but like even that's how I feel. Maybe it's not that important to you right now. Maybe just more focused on school, but it's like kind of like this like circumstance I'm at, right?
I don't know. That's dude. That's something I think about a lot. But like, it's weird for me during school. Like during the semester, I'm just so focused on like myself. But then
Mhm.
in like summer break and winter break, my mind is just not on school at all. It's focused on like, okay, how am I gonna get married? Like that
Yeah,
thought comes up like so much.
and it's bro, my wedding will be big, bro. No cap. Like I'm gonna have a big ass wedding. I'm gonna have a destination, bro. I don't care.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, but it's it's just a weird situation. My mom's friends asked me a couple days ago because I had a wedding. They go ask me, so what race are you gonna marry? I said, why'd I have to choose? I can have four. I can have all four.
Oh, there's only four?
Four, only four, bro.
Brown, white, black, Asian.
Yeah, there you go.
What about First Nations?
Four.
They're kind of their own thing. No, they're
No,
kind of
they're
their own
kind of
thing.
something, but they're to me they're brown.
They're
They
brown.
they just throw them their skin's darker. Just throw them in that category.
Okay, that's fair.
I also want to ask you like how you find school going, or not just school, but life in general going at this pace. How you feel about life right now?
Like the thing about like I just turned 19, right?
Mhm.
I'm at this point where it's like blurry, you know? Like it's like in a blurry phase because like most people who are our age don't know like this is the time where you figure out what you want to do with your life, you know? Like where you have a sense of identity, but you need a couple more steps to really like solidify it and then keep that as like your main ground for the rest of your life. So I think that I and most likely you and everyone our age is in that process. And like, man, every aspect of life for me is just so busy right now. Like
Yeah.
I need a break, and that's why, like, because like school, I have 5 courses, and then I have external things like volunteering, and then I have podcasting, and then I have like my own family relationships that I need to maintain, and then like we're also doing stuff with our house right now. So there's so much, like it's just this crazy load, right? And then like I just need it. I need a break, and like in May and June I'm doing like a bunch of trips, which I'll freaking vlog with this,
Like that's sick.
inshallah.
I feel that.
So like, yeah, man,
You
that's kind of where I'm at right now. This gives me a good break from like all the craziness in life.
That's fair.
Yeah, and thanks for being here. I can talk to you and you can talk to me. It's dope.
I know it's crazy. I feel like life is very, very chaotic right now. And I feel like this time I've had the most time to like look at myself like properly as a person and who I want to
Mm,
be going into the future. Because to be honest, I've done some crazy like asshole shit. Like past relationships, I've been very toxic. I've been very like I've been trying to get like, my emotions under control and then being respectful to people around me, even when I'm not like, sometimes I say disrespectful stuff. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's like I say stuff and I've been trying to change who I am, not who I am, but like just how my interactions with other people. I was a
I
couple days ago, I was like
I've
thinking
noticed that change.
a couple days ago, I was like, it's so weird. Like I haven't talked to any of my friends at all, like from like junior high and stuff. And then like I'm like, they never message me. That's what I used to think. They never message me, so why would I ever message them, right? But it's like talk to my mom about that, and she goes, the phone's like you can text 2 ways. How many times have you asked them how they're doing? How many times have you gone out? How many times have you really had these conversations with all these people? And it's like I have a lot of people I know that I talk to them, text them. It's right away. It's like super nice, super nice. Like I talk to them a lot, like even when we know them, and it's super comfortable to talk to them. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who I haven't talked to since I've seen them, and it's like I don't know where to start, and I'm trying to like be better in that kind of sense. And there's one guy you should watch. I don't know if you do watch him, Healthy Gamer on YouTube.
No, I don't.
He's this therapist, and he went through like a whole different way to go to Harvard. Like was failing high school. He randomly like packed up his bags, went to India, started training with like these monks, changed his whole life around, married a very beautiful woman, and then became a therapist and talks to people. And one thing he said is, well, also with the relationship thing is like, if you don't, he's like talking to this guy who says, I can't find any relationships with people, and I'm hard to make relationships, and I live in this very like I every time I go out to these bars, but they can't get these women. He's like, but I'm like, he's like, you don't feel comfortable in bars. You don't look comfortable to other people. So why do you think people will come up to you and want to ask you how you're doing, or they want to interact with you in that situation? Because you don't look like you want to be there. It's like go to somewhere that you feel comfortable, and that's when you start to make relationships with people who are like-minded like you, right?
Facts. Facts.
That's another thing. Watch Healthy Gamer. That's fire too. So
Healthy
I'll tell you
gamer.
that.
Okay.
Check that out. You don't have to give him free promo, but it's enough subscribers already. But yeah,
How
it's
much is he
pretty.
paying you, bro?
I don't know, bro.
Shout
Whatever.
out. But yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Anyways, thanks for having me though.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming, and thank you for supporting the channel for so long. Cause you've been like, I scrolled up to our like, I think it was Instagram or Snapchat. You've been there since the beginning, bro. So
I think it's a
thank you.
good idea. I think it not just as like maybe this you won't get famous, or maybe you will get famous. Inshallah, you maybe get like money off of this, right?
Yeah.
But it's time to talk about your feelings, because as a man, it's not very many times you can talk about how you feel and who wants to listen to how you feel. You know what I'm saying? But if you
Yeah.
get your thoughts out there, it's a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? A little
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
mental health.
And yeah, that, bro. And like, I forgot to mention this for people who probably, I don't think I told anyone. Ilyas was like the person who encouraged me to start being more confident in my videos. And I appreciate that so much, bro. Because like most people will like only talk about like the really good things in my videos and not talk about like, oh, you have this problem or like that you could improve on this. I've never gotten that comment before until you messaged me. So that helped a lot, bro. Like that's something I'm gonna continue. Like I'm gonna take that with me for the rest of this
Mm,
channel's
oh,
existence.
yeah, because
So
everybody's
that's your
here
influence.
to hear your thoughts and your opinions. Like maybe you have a guest on whatever, you're doing a little bit of an interview or whatever, but when it's just you on the podcast, it is very much your thoughts, your opinions. They're only here to see you.
Yeah.
So tell your opinions like you feel it, because otherwise, like they don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? It makes it more entertaining for sure. I
Yeah.
don't know how many people got to the end of this though with like my ramblings, but
No, bro, there are gonna be some hardcore fans of you that are gonna watch this entire thing. So shout out to those people. But yeah, this was episode 18. Thank you, Ilyas, for coming on. Any last words?
no, no. I just want. Actually, I'm good. I should always. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.